Hello, my lovely. My name is Aakriti Kundu. I'm your friendly neighborhood goddess channel, high priestess, and feminine awakening coach. I am on a mission to bring the divine wisdom of the ancient goddesses and feminine mystics to the modern woman so that you too can release your trauma, bust through your BS beliefs, and attract a life of pleasure, ease, and abundance now. Are you ready to ascend? Let's get into it. Hi, welcome back to the show. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some things that I've been reading about, just like the tantric philosophy behind dealing with difficult emotions. And in today's episode, I'll walk you through a process of getting deep into uncomfortable emotions, finding the message, the gem, the hidden gift behind having not just emotions that are difficult for you to go through, but also the ones that you may try to push away. And I use my own experience as an example to walk you through what this is like for me. I use everyone's favorite social media to bring up a difficult emotion like jealousy. And I'll be talking you through some of the interesting things that I've learned about tantric philosophy, about working with the divine, and all sorts of things. So I hope that you enjoy this episode. If you love it, please leave a positive review on Apple, and feel free to send me a message on Instagram. All of the links, as usual, are in the description. If you love it, I want to know what you like, and I want to know what else you want to hear about. So without any further ado, let's get into the episode. I literally just picked up this book of Ramana Maharishi, and I've been wanting to read it for a very long time. And in 6 lines, he has set me straight. 6 lines, 6 sentences. I was listening to my book about Tantra earlier today, and it was talking about like this. The 6 lines have just rocked me in a really wonderful way. I wanted to talk about something else, and now I'm feeling like I can't even remember what that was, which will probably come back to me, because the main aspect that those 6 lines talked about were knowledge is not important, experience, practice, the practical aspect, that's what counts. That's what is most helpful. So the knowledge part of it, yes, you might need some theoretical aspects, and that is so true. Like I've definitely been there where I deeply want to go into the knowledge aspects. I deeply want to just read and learn and not have to do, or not have to do. Read and learn so that when I do practice, I don't make any mistakes. When I do practice, there's nothing wrong, and there's nothing unacceptable, or I avoid the common pitfalls. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? The mistakes, the getting it wrong, the pitfalls, that's where the learning happens. I was looking at my dog earlier today. I had just given her a bath, and I was looking at her, and I was just playing with her, and I just thought to myself, like, she doesn't have to do anything for me to love her, for me to want to take care of her, for me to take pictures of her and tell the world how much I love her. I'm so proud of her, and she doesn't have to earn that. She doesn't have to prove her worth in any way. In some ways, I feel like that is how the universe must feel about me. and you, the universe, or I'm going to use goddess because that's where I feel most connected. But I feel like that's exactly how the goddess feels. That's exactly how source feels. That's exactly how creator feels. Him, her, she, they just look at us and rejoice in our existence. We can do whatever the fuck we want to, and it's just pure bliss for them, and they're just so proud and amazed. All they want to do is like love on us and take care of us. I mean, make sure that we have everything that we need to do whatever brings us the most joy. And sometimes that might mean being nudged towards certain things that I may not notice or you may not know is what you're craving or what you need right now. But you know that having that intuitive guidance, or however the guidance shows up, really. But for the most part, you're just like you being wherever you are, having the experiences that you're having. There is absolutely no judgment. And if you knew that the way you feel about your child is how God feels about you, like he's just out there taking pictures and saying, this is I'm proudest of this one. She did this today, and made this decision, and it was brilliant. It was beautiful. No matter, even if that decision was as tiny or inconsequential to us as humans, as inconsequential as, well, I'm gonna get out of bed now. Because for sure there is no judgment when you don't get out of bed, right? There's absolutely no malintent. Yes, I remembered what the Tantra book was telling me. There's no part of the universe that looks at you and tells you that you're doing a bad job. There's no part of the universe that looks at you and says, oh, well, you're not living up to your potential. That's all man-made construct. That's just us. Those are our overactive brains that have been trained to look at other people and compare you with other people and other things. And the book that I was reading, I'm reading a lot of books. I'm trying to follow my intuition, and whenever she says read this, I do. Whenever she says do that, I do, or at least I do my best to. So the book that I'm listening to, the Illuminated Tantra, which is supposed to be like a composition of a lot of different schools of Tantra and of Tantric beliefs, and it's one of the more wholesome books out there, and it's been a pleasure to read. I'm really sad that I'm more than 3/4 of the way done with that book, but anyway, in it the author mentions that a tantrika believes that no matter what emotions are occurring, no matter what is arising in her, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, whatever is happening in this moment, good or bad, no matter how you may want to judge it, a tantrika holds the belief that this too is an expression of the goddess. So she looks at her anger, she looks at her depression, she looks at her frustration, her stuckness, her boredom, and looks at it and receives it as a version of the goddess, and says something along the lines of, I see you, thank you, mother, for coming to me in this form. What do I need to learn? And oh my God, I have been blown away for the past 2 hours because of that. It's just like, holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. This is especially because it's so contrary to what you might learn in manifestation. In manifestation, we're told, look at your emotions as guidelines. Like if you're having a bad emotion or a negative emotion, that tells you there's something wrong, you need to make some changes, and that kind of really pushes forward this expectation of constant positivity or even a toxic sense of positivity, which is really not helping anyone. It's not serving anyone at all. But in the tantric view of things, we have this beautiful understanding that good and bad are all a part of the goddess. So what we consider to be good or positive is part of the goddess, it's part of her, and what we consider to be bad or negative is also a form of the goddess. And this is one of the reasons why in tantric traditions the goddess turns up in both like fearsome and scary forms, as well as beautiful and the wisdom goddess forms. And that truly just highlights the fact that she is the good, the bad, and everything in between. So to the tantric, the existence of or being in the middle of something bad or negative, an emotion that is negative or that is heavy or that is, what the rest of the world might deem as unwanted, is not actually unwanted, because we consider it all to be divine, So if my anger is divine, if my upset is divine, and there is something that I get to, in being aware of this emotion, if there is something that I get to learn or receive, that is a blessing. That is a gift that I get to have. And if we were to just follow the emotion down to its root, down to where it came from. Quick side note here. These tantric traditions also encourage you to have gone through some sort of a tantric initiation, which would mean, from the description of the initiation processes, it sounds like the guru, the person who performs your initiation, actually performs a ritual in which your past and future karma is all past lives and future lives karma is all sort of reduced to a null point, and so all you're dealing with is present life karma. And for the purposes of practice, I think it's important to consider only your present life karma as well. Otherwise it just becomes, for those who are uninitiated, like me, I have not gone through a ritual initiation through a guru, so I don't know whether I'm handling past life karma or present life karma. But for me, I can definitely I consider that if anything is coming up in this lifetime, and there's like, I can find a root, which I often can, if I'm sitting with a particular emotion that I don't like. For example, let's say negative jealousy, a negative emotion like jealousy. If I see someone on Instagram or Facebook who has like a bunch of things that I really want, and I look at her and I'm let's be honest, just fully overtaken with this ugly emotion of jealousy, where, to be fair, I've taught myself to kind of push it down and push it away, and so sometimes it kind of seeps out as frustration, and I get really frustrated. And this is one of the big reasons why I dislike being on social media, is because there is a lot that triggers me, and I am very well aware of that. So I will avoid confrontation within myself by not exposing myself to that sort of triggering material. And that is one way of doing it. But the flip side for me, at least, is that I then have to find a way to cover up my raw nerves, cover up my triggers, and decide to not be triggered when I then need to go on those exact same platforms to further my cause, right? When I need those platforms, then I have to find some way of being able to deal with them. Now, it would be in the tantric line of thought, it would be maybe a little uncomfortable, but more of a longer term solution to follow that jealousy, follow that uncomfortable feeling, and really find out what is it all about, where is it coming from. I hope you're loving this episode, but I just wanted to pop in and ask, have you checked out the freebies that are available on akritikundu.com? There are 2 freebies available for you right this minute. There is a free goddess guide quiz, and the other freebie that I think you will absolutely love is my Manifest Like a Pro free series. It's a 5-part course that helps you identify your desires, really reach for those big manifestations that you've been waiting for, and bring them in so much faster into your life. There are over 100 people who have taken that particular course and had some mind-blowing manifestations and results. Everything from their perfect jobs to a ton of money to their perfect cars, and for some people even their ideal soulmates and relationships. So I hope you'll go check it out. Thank you so much again for being here. I love having you here, and let me know how you're liking this episode. For now, let's get back to it. One of my coaches had taught me this. I think she taught me a 5 why process, where for every answer you get, you go one layer deeper by asking yourself why. So let's do the 5 whys on this jealousy thing. Like, why am I jealous of this person that I see? The answer, and you have to really preface this process by promising to not be judgmental, to promise yourself that you will be gentle with yourself, and that you will be super honest, because you're going into places that can be really, really vulnerable and very sensitive, and so you have to handle it with the appropriate care. So if I was to ask myself, like, why am I okay? I feel you, jealousy. I see you. I see that you are here. I acknowledge your presence. What are you here to teach me? And in order to get to know what the jealousy is here to teach me, one of the ways that I can get closer and deeper into the situation is I could ask, well, why am I jealous of this person? Why is this emotion here right now? And maybe let's go generic. She has the business that I want, or she has the success that I want, or she has the house that I want. Okay. And why is that important to me? Would be going one layer deeper. Why is that important to me? And it'll be like, oh, well, because if I had those things, then I could prove to everyone that I am worthy, or, that would show those people who told me that I wasn't worthy, that I, in fact, am, in a language that they would understand. Okay. Going one layer deeper, why is that important to me? Why is it important to me that I show people that I am successful? And it's like, well, I want to be successful, and I want the respect and the love and adoration and the connections that come with being successful, because people aren't super excited about, maybe people aren't nice when you're not successful, and you're fucking tired of it. And I want people to be nice to me. I want people to love and respect me, and that only comes with success. So, okay, we are so much deeper now. It's gone from being pissed off at social media to I want to be respected. I want love, and I want, real true connection. Okay, and why is that important to me? Like, what happened that when I didn't get that I began to consider this form of connection with other people as so vitally important that I am going to have such a huge reaction, or I'm going to have this kind of an emotion flood through my body and give it space to actually be, right? Because this jealousy hasn't come up overnight. It's not like you had nothing going on till last night and then suddenly you saw Instagram and then, someone in their 7-figure house and now you're like, oh my God, I'm jealous. No, it's coming from somewhere else, and it's coming from somewhere deeper. So, okay, why is that important? Or why is this true for me? Why do I have this need? Why do I have this need could be a great way once you've narrowed it down to what exactly that need is that is not being fulfilled, that is the trigger. Why is this need important to me? It's, because I didn't really feel connected when I was growing up, right? Or I didn't feel respected when I was younger, or when I didn't have any power. I was told to do things that I didn't want to do, when I was like they put baby in a corner, and I no longer want to be in that corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner. I've literally not watched that movie, but I do know that quote. So maybe that's what comes up for you. Like I wasn't given appropriate respect, love, and consideration earlier in my life, so I consider that really important, and now I want it. Okay, and why is it that hurt? Who didn't give you that love and consideration? And what is the core underneath all this? And it's like, well, because I'm a good person, I'm an awesome person, and if I want to connect with somebody, and I love people, I respect people, and I just want that reflected back to me. Because I'm an awesome person, now you're kind of at the root of it in a way that is going to help you moving forward, right? That this is information that you can actually use. This is a blessing. This is information, this is knowledge about yourself that is experiential, because it's coming from something that you've probably experienced, and it's something that you can actually take decisions around. So maybe this means that you now have to, or maybe you're now inspired to look at the connections you have in your life, where you're like, wait, I know I didn't have these respectful, considerate relationships when I was younger because I didn't have any power, but now that I am a grown-ass woman, am I still holding on to, or am I still engaged in these sort of relationships where this is the paradigm that's playing out, where I'm not feeling respected, and therefore when I see other people having that respect, having the success that I think gives them the respect, that I get like really pissed off and frustrated. And then this allows you, like, this level of clarity gives you the ability to take a microscope to your life and discover where am I not treating myself, where am I treating myself in ways that aren't aligned or are different from the way God is looking at my life right now, the way Source is looking at my life, or the way that Source feels about me and my life. Because if you felt about you the way Source feels about you, you know how happy dogs are? They're just happy all the time. That's how we would be as well. So I think it is so key. I love how everything that I was moved by today has just fallen into this one conversation beautifully, organically. That's just a little this is me in awe of the synchronicity of everything that I was called to listen to and read and be bombarded by. So it is so key for us to come back to have a touchstone, come back to this idea that the supreme intelligence, the divine being that allowed my existence here, that have created me, are so ecstatic with me exactly as I am, without like making any changes. And I can choose to be aligned with that joy, or I can feel disconnected and stay kind of languishing in all this pain that I feel. I could do either one of those things, and neither one of them is wrong. It's just a question of, well, but how do you want to feel in the moment? Do you want to feel like you're being pulled like heavily down into the ground where you can't even move? Do you want to feel that sort of inertia, or do you want to feel like you are free and expansive and fun and playful? That's literally all the choice that's the major moment to moment choice that you need to or get to make. And either way, you get to have fun. Like, even if you're languishing in complete depression, you can choose to enjoy it. I've had those moments where everything in my body is just telling me. In fact, this last week has been one of those moments where everything is just like, no, Aakriti, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. And I've spent many years resisting that feeling when I'm like, no, but you have to. But you have to. You have to be productive. You have to be consistent. You have to. And over the last few months, I've really been working on catching myself when I'm in that mode of have to, and reminding myself that it's okay. It's okay that you're feeling tired. It's okay that you're feeling washed out. It's okay that you're feeling like you're not at all productive. And how can I actually use this downtime, in a way that soothes me, in a way that suits me, and in a way that takes care of me, rather than just those vacation days that you take where you just spend the entire time riding on yourself, just whipping yourself and telling yourself how just mean things. I don't want to say those mean things out loud because I feel like we're in a good place right now. So if you've had those experiences where you've said mean things to yourself all day on a mental health day, or if you took a day off work and you were like, I'm just gonna relax today, and instead of relaxing, you were the worst to yourself, and then the next day you feel exhausted, you wake up feeling exhausted, and you're like, I feel like that's a big reason why maybe people aren't super keen about taking time off for their mental health, for their self-care, is because a lot of times when we do that, we're actually riddled with so much guilt that you don't take the time off. You don't actually take time off without the guilt of taking time off, and therefore when you go back to work or whatever it is, whatever that you've taken time off from, when you go back to it, you actually feel much more tired, much more exhausted, much more like on edge, rather than feeling replenished, because you didn't let go. You may have physically removed yourself from the situation, but mentally you were still there, and possibly giving yourself a really hard time about not being there physically and not doing anything about it and not fixing it and not working. But yeah, all of that comes back down to programming and what we've been taught and stuff like that. So That's a whole other beast. I know that I will probably tackle it in a subsequent meeting. But for now, that's all that was on my mind. Okay, bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Awakening the Goddess with me, your host, Aakriti. I would love to hear what you think about this show and this episode, so please leave us an honest review and feel free to jump into my DMs over on Instagram. Let me know that you're listening to the show. Tag me in your stories. Tell me what you want to hear next, because I am always here for you, and I want to support your highest self and the goddess within you. Until next time, bye.